A common rebuttal I often get from people when you talk about diet with correlation of symptoms that they're experiencing, such as low energy, pain, inflammation, weight gain, inability to sleep, the aging process, is usually due to fear of loss, meaning they fear that they're going to lose their ability to control the life that they want to live. In reality, though, what we're shooting for is hope and inspiration, meaning we want them to live the life of anti-aging, the opposite of what they're experiencing. It's just understanding how the body works and how to avoid certain situations. Now, going out and having a cheeseburger or maybe certain meals that are not the healthiest for you here and there can be overcome through biohacking strategies. But if you're doing things on a consistent basis that's constantly tearing the body up or beating the body down as far as at the cellular level, you're actually expediting the aging process because of the body's inability to go in and repair itself. So you'll see in a period of over years, decades, where certain things go from signs, symptoms, disease to unfortunately death. Now, again, there's a lot of things that we can't avoid, and you just going and eating unhealthy foods here and there is not going to really make a huge difference. But again, it's that repeated, basically, experience that your body receives when we're looking at the aging process and how it perceives the ability to overcome stuff. So our cells in general are what control the body when it comes to recovery, maybe it's due to physical activity, maybe it's mental stress, or just the ability to produce energy in the body. So we want these pathways in the body to all connect. But over a period of time, again, if the structure is not quite there, meaning it's received so much damage, terms such as inflammation, are in that cell to the point where it can't do its job efficiently, then it's not counteracting all the basically negative side effects, the symptoms that you're experiencing. So over a period of time, really want those cells to be able to handle that stress that it receives. But again, if someone gets, for example, overwhelmed, they tend to kind of just get flustered and give up. And that's kind of what happens with your cells. There's just too much coming in that it can't handle it, and they drown in their own inflammation. So at the cellular level, we want it to be able to control, meaning we want you to have that control, the ability to anti-age, being able to go do the activities that you want to do without the pain, without the inflammation, without the constant weight gain, inability to sleep, or low energy. We understand that the body itself is capable of doing a lot. We just have to pre-position and always give it the ability to overcome these obstacles. So along the way of hope and inspiration, let's look at the cell at a little bit deeper level and let's understand the basics of how it works. Over a period of time, just general toxins build up in our body. And again, these could be either due to unintentional or intentional, meaning we may be doing stuff to ourselves that we're not realizing it by the foods that we eat, the drinks, or just in general the environment around us from the air we breathe. But a lot of times too is, we know the foods that we're not eating or that we're eating are not the best for us, and they get in the body and slow the cell down at the cellular level, thus increase the aging process. And a really common thing that a lot of people think is, well, when I get to that certain point of unhealthiness or a state that I'm really in that much pain or I have that disease, is I'm just going to go take a medication, get the injection or the surgery. In reality, though, that's not how the body works. Over and over, periods of times, I've seen this working in chronic pain clinics where people either were constantly getting injections because the pain was so extreme, constantly going through the surgeries, trying to figure out the answer, but nothing worked, meaning it was very temporary and was inefficient, not efficient in the way it actually led to the results they were looking for. Meaning, once your cell gets damaged to a certain point, it's almost like if you take an example of a baseball mitt, over and over, it can take a lot of hits, meaning catches or balls thrown to it, but every once in a while, you get to that point where it's there, meaning it's been hit so many times, it loses its ability to hold its structure and to maintain proper position, and it's just worn out. Well, that's what ends up happening to your cells. Or an old tennis shoe. Let's say you're a runner. How often do you change your shoes as a runner? If you're an experienced runner, it's pretty often because there's a bunch of wear and tear. The same thing happens to your cells. Well, also we look at the joints. When we wear and tear our joints, people have to get joint replacements. So what is different than in our minds of thinking that the foods that we eat aren't wearing and tearing at the cellular level? So that's when we think about hope and inspiration, because we know that we can slow down the aging process if we're more intentional on how we actually treat the body. So going back to that cellular level, saying, if I understand proper ways of detoxing the body, you get the oil cleaned in your car, why not get it changed in your body? Meaning, like, change out the way your system is flushing those toxins out of the lymphatic system and throughout the different organs, and understanding there's different layers throughout the body. When we go in there and we understand that the cellular level, that we can improve the way it works and continue its efficiency throughout life, we can do the activities we want to do at a more fun pace because we know that the body can handle it. But again, if we're not paying attention to some of these things and we just take hit after hit, day after day, then what ends up happening is your body just becomes overwhelmed, it gets too stressed out, and then all of a sudden it says, hey, I'm checked out, I'm done, I'm leaving. And that's where the meds don't work, and you have to go back to the doctor, get more prescriptions or a higher dose, and you realize, you know what, I'm just getting medicated, I feel foggy, I've got other side effects now, and it's that risk versus reward to where something else now is at a bigger cost because you're having to deal with it as well. So again, it's trying to be strategic and smart, not take away from your life, meaning no one's there to try to say, hey, you can't go do this, so you don't lose that control. The actual reality is trying to give you back that control. That way you have control of your life. You are the CEO of your own health, and you determine the direction, the path that you go, versus other people just kind of sitting back and just letting it happen to them and then saying, you know what, no worries, I've got this. I know a great doctor. I know my insurance is great. Whatever the case is, that will only go so far, and it's very temporary, and it's not the solid fix. So again, going back to the basics, everything works naturally when it works with nature, and your body is meant to work in a proper manner, meaning pay attention to certain signs, certain symptoms that are going to lead to that possible disease. Now, again, you can't always avoid everything, but if you're smart and you're strategic, you have a better biohacking strategy, meaning you're going there and you're assessing this on a daily, weekly, monthly, annually basis to understand that there are things that you can do to improve the overall function of your body, and understand that this aging thing is more about hope and inspiration. You're not trying to go in there and beat yourself up. I don't think intentionally anyone's out there just trying to feel worse. Hope not. But at the end of the day, you want to be smart about this. And again, if you don't pay attention to this, it's just time will always catch up. Time's a big factor, and it's on your terms whenever you look at it from the biohacking strategy of human function and performance.